I'm Adrian Seet and you're watching Nightline, the top stories. Malaysia seeks a landing permission in Sudan. And 3 sisters die of drowning in Port Dickson. Thanks for joining us. Malaysia has contacted Sudan's highest administration to request permission to land in the country. Foreign Minister Datuk Sri Zamri Abdul Kadir said the application was part of the process to extract Malaysians stranded in the country. The Foreign Minister said Malaysia was also considering several other options, including relocating the Malaysian citizens in Sudan. He said efforts to negotiate with the conflicting parties to make way for attempts to bring Malaysians out are still ongoing. He said this in response to media reports that the Sudan Civil Aviation Authority has extended the closure of the country's airspace until April 30th. A total of 32 Malaysians were reported to be in Sudan in 7 different areas of the country. Last Friday, 2 Malaysians were brought out of Sudan in an operation conducted by officers from the Malaysian embassy in Khartoum. According to international media reports, more countries were gearing up to evacuate thousands of their citizens despite the closure of Sudan's main airport. To date, the first group of more than 150 nationalities brought out of Sudan arrived in Saudi Arabia on Saturday, as fighting between the army and paramilitary groups entered its second week. The death toll resulting from the power struggle in Sudan has so far risen to more than 400 people, while another 3,500 have been injured, according to the World Health Organization (WHO). The conflict in Sudan erupted on April 15th as a result of a dispute between the Sudan Army and the Rapid Support Force. Meanwhile, US troops swooped in on helicopters to evacuate embassy staff from Sudan's battle-torn capital as other nations sought to help their citizens flee the deadly fighting between rival generals. According to the US President Joe Biden, just over 100 US Special Operations troops took part in the rescue to extract fewer than 100 people that saw 3 Chinook helicopters fly from Djibouti, staying on the ground in Khartoum for less than an hour. France and Turkey on Sunday also launched evacuation operations from the chaos-torn northeast African nation, where ongoing fighting has entered its second week. Fighting continued on Sunday with a crackle of automatic gunfire, echoing across Khartoum and the Sudanese military aircraft roaring overhead. So far, ferocious battles between the Sudanese army and the paramilitary group, which have seen fighting with tanks in densely populated Khartoum and airstrikes launched by fighter jets, have killed more than 400 people and left thousands wounded. A family outing to Negeri Sembilan turned into tragedy as 3 sisters who went swimming at the Pantai Cahaya beach in Port Dickson drowned. 2 others were rescued by members of the public and firemen on Sunday afternoon. Teluk Kemang Fire and Rescue Station Chief Azizi Alias said the 3 who drowned were identified as R. Kalaivani, 30, R. Dawiji, 29, R. Sathya Devi, 19. They were from Banting, Selangor. Their bodies were found after receiving a distress call from members of the public at 5:57 p.m. The bodies of the 3 victims were found about 50 meters from the beach. At the time of the incident, it was high tide and the sea was choppy. It was learned that the area was restricted from swimming activities. 2 others who were rescued were R. Viren, 26, and J. Sathiswaran, 29. They were rescued by members of the public and firemen. The duo were later sent to the hospital. The bodies of the 3 sisters were handed to the police. The tourism industry in Sarawak has once again exhibited outstanding performance in March, with a more than a 300% increase in foreign tourist arrivals. Tourism, Creative Industry and Performing Arts Minister Datuk Sri Abdul Karim Rahman Hamzah said the total value of tourism receipts in the state also recorded an increase of 318.2% from 195.4 8.54 million ringgit to 817.75 million ringgit compared to the same period in 2020.
We are very much on target this year. I expect by October, kira 1 tahun ada 12 bulan. By the 10th month, we will hit the, ataupun by the 9th month, we will hit the 3 million. By December, I wouldn't be surprised, we might even hit 4 million. We will be offshoot the target by about 1 million. We are very confident of that.
Dato Sri Abdul Karim said this to the media during his Aidilfitri open house in Kuching on Sunday. He also pointed out that for the first quarter of this year, Sarawak had recorded a total of 923,997 tourist arrivals, compared to 229,678 for the same period last year. Out of the total, 496,636 were foreign tourists, while 427,361 were locals. Based on that, the minister is expecting to see an influx of tourists during the return of many musical and arts events in the second half of the year. About 18,000 people from all walks of life took the opportunity to celebrate the second day of Hari Raya Aidilfitri by attending the open house hosted by the Sultan of Johor, Sultan Ibrahim Almarhum Sultan Iskandar at Istana Besar in Johor Bahru. Visitors, including foreign tourists, were making a beeline up to the front gate as early as 7 a.m. before they were allowed to go in at 9 a.m. At 10 a.m., Sultan Ibrahim arrived at the palace and spent over an hour exchanging greetings with his subjects. The Johor ruler was accompanied by Menteri Besar Dato' On Hafiz Ghazi. Also present were Permaisuri of Johor, Raja Zarith Sofia Almarhum Sultan Idris Shah, and their children, Tunku Temenggung of Johor, Tunku Idris Iskandar Al-Haj, Tunku Panglima of Johor, Tunku Abdul Rahman Al-Haj, and Tunku Putra of Johor, Tunku Abu Bakar Al-Haj. Many came from far and near to join in the festivities and enjoy the delicious food served at the event. It was the Johor ruler's first Hari Raya gathering since the COVID-19 pandemic, after the last time it was held in 2019 at Istana Pasir Pelangi.
Warga SKPG mengucapkan Salam Aidilfitri, Maaf Zahir dan Batin.
FC Jana Ibu mengucapkan Selamat Hari Raya.
Coming up next, over 5,000 kilograms of drugs seized in Morocco.
Awak yang depan TV tu.
Welcome back. In Morocco, police on Sunday seized 5,400 kilograms of cannabis resin stashed in a truck headed for Spain, as well as 60 kilograms of cocaine packed in frozen tuna. Authorities said security and customs officers seized the cannabis resin in blocks in the northern port of Tangier on board an international freight truck where it was pressed into plates slotted into specially fitted cavities, including the truck's chassis. Following the discovery, police arrested a 45-year-old Moroccan believed to be the driver of the truck. In a separate operation, also in Tangier, police revealed that nearly 60 kilograms of cocaine was seized on Thursday inside a refrigerated container. The cocaine was packed in tuna, marked as coming from Ecuador and destined for Spain. According to the United Nations, Morocco is the world's largest producer of cannabis resin, and police seized nearly 100,000 kilograms of the drug last year. At least 10 people have been killed and dozens others wounded in a triple suicide bomb attack near a military camp and airport in central Mali. In a statement on Sunday, government spokesman said suspected terrorists attacked the Sevres airport area in the central Mopti region, detonated car bombs that killed 10 civilians and injured 61 others. The blasts had also destroyed some houses in the airport's surrounding area, which is home to a Malayan military camp. So far, there was no immediate claim of responsibility for the attack. Indian police have arrested a Sikh separatist Amritpal Singh after hunting him for more than a month. In a statement on Sunday, police said they arrested Singh at about 6:45 a.m. local time after having surrounded a village in the northern state of Punjab, following intelligence that he was there in a Gurdwara or a Sikh temple. The arrest of Singh, who leads a group called Waris Punjab D, comes after the self-styled preacher and hundreds of his supporters stormed a police station with swords and firearms demanding the release of one of his aides. Authorities have accused Singh and his supporters of attempted murder, obstruction of law enforcement and creating disharmony, and said that he had been on the run since mid-March. The rise of Singh, a preacher in the northwestern state of Punjab, where Sikhs are the majority, has revived talks of such a homeland and stoked fears of a return to violence of the 1980s and the early 1990s during a Sikh insurgency. On to sports. Borussia Dortmund cruised past Eintracht Frankfurt 4-0 with 2 goals coming from Daniel Mahlen to take over the lead in the Bundesliga from Bayern Munich with 5 matches left in the season. Of a club a record 9th straight home game win that lifted them to 60 points, 1 ahead of Bayern. Jude Bellingham opened Dortmund's account in the 19th minute. Their second goal, 5 minutes later, was far easier, with keeper Gregor Kobel kicking the ball deep into the Frankfurt half. Mullen slotting in after the ball was headed on twice past a clueless Frankfurt backline. Mats Hummels made it 3-0 with a well-timed header from a Rafael Guerreiro cross. For Karim, Adeyemi's solo effort set up Dutch striker Mullen for his second goal of the evening in the 66th. In another match, league leaders Bayern Munich slumped to a 3-1 loss at Mainz, conceding all 3 goals in a span of 14 minutes to drop to second place. The Bavarians could not have imagined a worse afternoon after going 1-0 up courtesy of Sadio Mane's 29th minute header at the far post. Despite having more than 70% of possession for more than an hour, Thomas Tuchel's Bayern were unable to carve out any more chances. Bayern were punished for sloppy defending in the 65th after failing to clear the ball repeatedly, and keeper Jan Sommer punched it straight onto the head of Ludovic Arjok, who only had to nod in for the equaliser. Another defensive error by Josip Stanisic allowed Leandro Barreiro to slot home and put the hosts in front. The hosts, however, were not done yet, as Aaron Martin rifled in their 3rd goal in the 79th to make it 10 games without defeat for Mainz, who are now 6th and in contention for a European spot. Over in tennis, Carlos Alcaraz's perfect week continues at the Barcelona Open. The top-seeded Spaniard eased past Daniel Evans to reach the championship match at the clay court ATP 500, where he is bidding to become the first repeat champion since Rafael Nadal lifted the trophy 3 years in a row from 2016 to 2018. Defending champion Alcaraz reached the Barcelona Open final with a 6-2, 6-2 win against Dan Evans of Great Britain. The top-seeded Spaniard, who is yet to drop a set in a tournament, converted 5 of his 7 break points on his way to victory in 81 minutes. Greece's Tsitsipas, meanwhile, had a tougher time against Italy's Lorenzo Musetti, the number 2 seed, eventually running out the winner 6-4, 5-7, 6-3 in a match lasting a shade under 2.5 hours. Tsitsipas was a finalist in 2018 and 2021, but lost on both occasions to Rafael Nadal. Charred remains of octogenarian recovered in house fire. This and more from the local front after this breather. Thanks for staying with us. This year's Araya celebrations were marked by a modest and homely atmosphere as Malaysians living abroad opted for gatherings with close friends and family. We had the opportunity to speak with our fellow citizens to find out what it is like to celebrate this joyous occasion with their loved ones. In Sheffield, UK, 40-year-old Saiful Saleh, a Malaysian research assistant at Sheffield Hallam University, and his wife, 39-year-old Rahma Ghazali, a journalist for National World News, found the celebration to be a special one as it brought them together and made them closer to their homeland.
I think for us, so we've been here for how many years? 5 years
Since
already.
2018.
2018, so we've been here for 5 years already. The difference that we could see is definitely the crowd, and then
And then the vibe as well.
the vibe as well.
Yeah,
Like,
it's totally different compared to Malaysia because the way we celebrate it is so much festive compared to
it's
the
much,
UK.
Much more happening there in Malaysia, of
Yeah.
course. And then we don't have many people that we know here. We only have like a couple of friends, family friends, but we don't have like any relatives here. So that's what makes it more, I would say, quiet. But
At the
other
same
than
time,
that, other than that, it's okay.
Although the celebration was less elaborate than what they were accustomed to back home, Saiful and his family still found joy in the simpler pleasures of spending time with loved ones. Cooking and sharing traditional dishes played a vital role in helping Saiful and his family feel connected to their cultural roots and to share their love of Malaysian cuisine with others.
Thankfully, we have our friends from Malaysia who live in Sheffield. They cook something different as well, so we can do like potluck. Enjoy the food together during Eid.
Saiful and his wife also bought all the ingredients needed to cook delicious Malay dishes such as rendang, nasi impit, kuah masak lodeh, and kuah kacang.
In Sheffield, we are still. I mean, the stuff are still accessible.
Yeah.
Like the ingredients are still accessible, so it's not that hard to make up Malaysian food here. But it doesn't taste the same. Of course.
But it's not. It's hard to get the Kuih Raya.
Yeah,
because Kuih Raya you need to make it yourself, and it's so tedious. So we usually skip that one.
Yeah. You don't.
By cooking these Malaysian delicacies, they were able to recreate the warmth and familiarity of a typical Aidilfitri celebration in Malaysia. This helped Saiful and his friends living abroad to feel a sense of connection to their homeland and to each other, fostering a strong sense of belonging and togetherness.
Selamat Hari Raya!
In a similar vein, Firdaus Lukman Ashraf and other Malaysian students studying in University of Alexandria, Egypt, also celebrated Aidilfitri with a grand open house. They invited their friends and classmates from different countries and backgrounds to share the joy of the occasion.
So there's two ways to look at it. Firstly, for the Egyptian community, they tend to emphasize a lot more on their Ramadan compared to Raya. So during Raya celebration, the streets are fairly empty. It's not as lively during Ramadan. However, for the Malaysian community, as you can see, we're currently wrapping up our open house. So all of this is organized by the student organization. We've cooked for ourselves, we've cooked for each other, and this is just a way for us to give back to the Alexandrian Malaysian community. Do I miss anything in particular in Malaysia? Of course, I miss my family. I miss the kampung surroundings. I miss my mom's cooking. So of course, you can never deny that. Other than that, the Malaysian community here is quite sufficient enough.
For Firdaus and his friends, the open house was a great way to showcase their Malaysian culture and tradition to people from different countries. It was also an opportunity for them to learn about other cultures and traditions, promoting cultural exchange and understanding. No matter where Malaysians are in the world, the celebration of Aidilfitri serves as a reminder of the importance of family, togetherness, and gratitude. In Kedah, the charred body of an octogenarian was found after her two-storey house near Taman Sri Baling caught fire early on Sunday. Baling District Police Chief Superintendent Shamsuddin Mamat said that the victim was identified as Lim Peg Luang, alias Lim Peg Ayi, age 82, who lived alone in her house. Shamsuddin said the victim is believed to have died after being trapped in the house as she could not escape during the fire. He said the investigating officer was informed by the firefighters that the house, measuring 20 by 40 feet, was 90% burned. Preliminary reports indicated that the fire was likely started by a short circuit and there was no element of foul play so far. However, further investigations are ongoing to discover the true cause of the fire. The fire is believed to have started from the victim's house, which then spread to the nearby house. Fortunately, the firefighters were able to control the fire from spreading further. The body of the victim was sent to the Sultan Bahia Hospital in Alostar for an autopsy. In Terengganu, the bus driver who was involved in an accident after colliding with a car last Friday was pronounced dead at the Sultanah Nur Zahira Hospital on Sunday. Kuala Terengganu District Police Deputy Chief Superintendent Wan Muhammad Zaki Wan Ismail said that the 51-year-old victim Nik Nurdin Juso from Kota Baru, Kelantan was reported to have died at 4:02 a.m. It was learned that the victim had received treatment at the same hospital after suffering injuries to his spleen and a broken left leg. The crash also claimed the lives of a married couple, Ceku Yusof Ali Ceku Embong, and his wife, Siti Faridaf Ahmad, aged 52 and 46 respectively, bringing the total number of fatalities to 3. Another victim, who is the couple's daughter, Ceku Nur Batrisha, aged 18, who suffered injuries, is currently being treated at the hospital. On April 21st, the husband and wife were killed after the car they were travelling in collided with the express bus. The incident also left 8 passengers on the bus injured, and they were sent to the same hospital for treatment. In Malacca, a lemang seller was arrested for assaulting a buyer who claimed that he had bought a lemang which was not properly cooked in an incident at the roadside stall on Jalan Bukit Beruang Utama near a petrol station on Friday. Malacca Tengah District Police Chief ACP Christopher Patit said in the 8 p.m. incident, the victim, a 61-year-old military veteran, suffered injuries to his left ear and right hand due to the hit with a hollow bamboo stick and was treated at the Malacca hospital. On Saturday, a 29-second long video clip of the incident went viral on social media, showing the action of the lemang seller assaulting the victim with a bamboo stick and hurling abusive words. According to police, before the incident, the victim went to the lemang stall to exchange lemang which he had bought in the morning because he was found to be not properly cooked. Upon arriving at the stall, the victim claimed that he had shown the uncooked lemang he bought to the 40-year-old seller, but the latter refused to look at it. The lemang seller then split open one of the lemang bought by the complainant and showed that the lemang was fully cooked before a verbal fight ensued between them, which led to the alleged assault. During the incident, the lemang seller also hit the victim with a bamboo stick on the left ear and right hand. The suspect was arrested at Jalan Kota at about 12:15 a.m. on Saturday, but was later released on police bail after his statement was recorded. He also said the investigation was ongoing and the investigation papers will be referred to the Deputy Public Prosecutor for further action. Libyans in Benghazi celebrated Eid al-Fitr with a festival where they wore traditional costumes and engaged in song and dance. The festival, which started as a simple meeting point for people to take pictures during the festivities 5 years ago, developed into a traditional song and dance festival that takes place on an annual basis. Let's take a look at the celebration as we wrap up Nightline this time around. I'm Adrian Seet and you have been watching Nightline. Take care, Malaysia.